Tennessee Titans fans, I got to tell you, dude, I was in the bed. I was in the bed. I'm in my underwear right now, bro. I'm in my underwear. You can't see it and you're not going to see it because I was in the bed scrolling social media, getting ready to roll over and call it a night. I'm on X, I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden I see this from wide receiver Tyler Lockett. I'm excited to be a Tennessee Titan. I'm super thankful and grateful. Let's get it. God, you get all the glory. Tyler Lockett, who has obviously been with the Seattle Seahawks for a very long time, veteran wide receiver, has apparently signed with our Tennessee Titans. 'Twas the night before the draft, and all through the house, Tyler Lockett was stirring. And I can't think of anything to rhyme with house. Anyway, Tyler Lockett adds some durability to the Tennessee Titans wide receiver room, obviously experience, some consistency. Tyler Lockett is a reliable receiver. Last season for Seattle, he had 49 receptions for 600 yards. One of his weaker seasons in a while. The season before that, he had 79 receptions for 894 yards. Season before that, 84 receptions for 1,033. Year before that, 73 receptions for 1,175 yards. That was his best season, 2021. The key here is that much like a lot of the other free agent signings that the Titans have made, Tyler Lockett is durable. Played all 17 games last season, played all 17 games the season before that. 2022, he missed one game. 2021, he only missed one game. Every season prior to 2023, he only missed one game a year. So you remember a lot of the guys that the Titans signed in free agency, what do they all have in common? Durability. Guys who stay healthy, who stay on the field, who stay in the lineup. Tyler Lockett is another one of those guys. And Tyler Lockett's a good receiver. You know, I think that, again, he brings experience. I think, obviously, the Titans are going to be drafting Cam Ward tomorrow night. We'll be covering that here on the channel. If you don't have anywhere to hang out for draft night, come hang out on the channel. We're going to be watching the whole dang thing. But, you know, this is a reliable target. This is a veteran receiver for Cam Ward to get out there with and learn the ropes. You need that in that wide receiver room. Obviously, you've already got Calvin Ridley, who provides that as well. And even Van Jefferson that they signed is a veteran receiver as well. So you've got three veteran wide receivers right there. And let's talk about what this potentially means for the Titans draft. Not just tomorrow night, but I'm looking to Friday and Saturday, the day 2 picks, the day 3 picks. Obviously, there was a lot of belief that the Titans probably needed to draft 2 wide receivers over the course of this draft. I have said many times that I think they should use their second round pick on a wide receiver. I don't know if they will. Obviously, edge rush is a major need. There are other things too. They made it clear they're not just going to draft based on need. They're going to draft based on who the best player available is. So we'll see how all of that works out on Friday night with round 2 and round 3. But you have to wonder, announcing this signing the night before the draft, maybe it takes some pressure off. The Titans still need to draft a wide receiver at some point. We all know that, but maybe it takes some pressure off. Maybe now you can just get away with drafting 1 wide receiver in the draft, whether that's in the second round or later. Maybe with this news about Tyler Lockett, maybe that means you can get away with drafting 1 wide receiver instead of spending 2 picks on wide receivers. You can still do that, but maybe, you know, you use 1 pick on a wide receiver, and maybe, this takes a little bit of pressure off if the Titans are not able to pull off a trade to get a 3rd round pick, which they currently do not have. If you have to miss the 3rd round, getting Tyler Lockett to provide some more stability to that wide receiver room, maybe that helps you feel a little bit better about that. But the Tennessee Titans still need to draft a wide receiver, and I still would like to see them draft a wide receiver with that 2nd round pick personally, but I'm not going to complain if they take an edge rusher. Let's also talk about, so the way that the wide receiver room stacks up right now. This is obviously not final, but you've got Calvin at the top. I would say as of right now, Tyler Lockett is probably number 2. I mean, yeah, Tyler Lockett, absolutely. No, a wide receiver 2 for now. I would probably say Van Jefferson is wide receiver 3. And then I guess Traylon is wide receiver 4, I guess. And then maybe you're rounded out with a guy like Bryce Oliver or something like that. That's where it stands right now. So I wonder if the Titans are able to draft a good wide receiver at some point in this draft. Does it then become Calvin, draft pick, Lockett, Jefferson, Burks? Does that drafted wide receiver move into the second spot and Lockett's the third? Or, I mean, it depends. I think if it's a second round pick, then that second round pick would probably be wide receiver 2 behind Calvin. But if it's a later round pick, if it's a fourth round wide receiver, if it's a fifth round wide receiver, then maybe I could see that receiver falling in at wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Either way, Tyler Lockett is a reliable, consistent, durable wide receiver, veteran receiver who, again, has been around the ropes. It'll be good for Cam Ward. I know we want the young wide receiver, but when you have a young quarterback, sometimes it's good to have a veteran presence on that receiving core. And like I said, you've already got Calvin Ridley, who is a veteran. You brought in Van Jefferson, who brings a veteran presence. And now you bring in Tyler Lockett, who does the same. But what I've said all offseason remains true. This wide receiver room needs youth. They desperately need. So they may still draft 2 wide receivers over the course of the draft. But the fact that you make this move the night before the draft and it gets announced, that tells me that maybe they want a little leeway to only be able to take 1 wide receiver. I also want to say this. What does the future hold for Treylon Burks? What does this news mean to him? Does this news mean anything for him? Would anybody at all be willing to take on Treylon Burks in a trade for a late round draft pick over these next few days? My gut feeling is no. And he's still so cheap that if he doesn't get traded, the Titans may as well keep him around somewhere on the roster. But I just wonder, bringing in Tyler Lockett, 3 veterans. I don't know. I see it 2 ways. Maybe they're setting up to potentially try to trade Burks if they can get anything. Or maybe they look at the landscape and they say, hey, let's keep Treylon around just to have some youth. And what does that mean for Bryce Oliver? Is Bryce Oliver still going to get an opportunity? Either way, I'm excited about this. I like Tyler Lockett, good wide receiver, reliable, durable. That's what the Titans need. Just give Cam Ward a shot to go out there and have somebody to throw to that can catch it and make plays for him. And I think Tyler Lockett can do that. Is he a down the field threat? Is he going to beat you over the top? Maybe not at this point, but I think Tyler Lockett can kind of come in that Tyler Boyd role from last year and, just be a veteran target for Cam Ward. And, big news on the night before the draft. And I will see you tomorrow night. I'm going back to bed. Tighten up.